Hi from Reading in the UK. I test drove the 1300GS yesterday and was disappointed with a few issues, so I thought I'd run a video. To set the context a bit, I've had two 1200s and two 1250s over about 50,000 miles in GS and GSA formats. The current one is flipping and shown in the video above. I've no affiliation or axe to grind with BMW and clearly like their products. The 1300 test drive was just to consider an upgrade over my 1250. Right off the bat, it's a smaller bike with more bias towards the front end and more road bike feel. Weight and control over the front wheel, quite different. The steering and front suspension setup is way sharper on the 1300 period. Quick steering input on a 1250 feels loose from the bars to the front wheel, especially if you wobble it from left to right. The 1300 fixes this definitely with good feedback, giving more confidence in the twisters. I'd say the new telelever front end is a hit. I also noticed that it absorbs the potholes better in dynamic mode. The suspension overall with variable rate compression on the rear is an improvement over something that was already pretty good. The road noise up through the suspension tunnel is drastically reduced on the 1300, which is great because that really annoyed me on the 1250. The new electric screen control is terrific and it's completely fixed. There's no wobble like the 1250 screen, although in its highest position as a 6'2" rider I didn't find it any quieter in terms of wind noise, so I was a bit disappointed in that. Love the look of the new front calipers. They are Brembos despite being badged BMW on the outside. I guess they've done a deal on exclusive supply or something with Brembo. Single finger braking, you have to put slightly more pressure compared to the 1250, but overall they are stronger when you pull quite hard. So yes, the engine has a bit more power and torque, and I could feel the difference. But I never found that I was screaming for more power on the 1250, and I'm not so sure that a quarter-ton adventure bike needs silly power anyway. At this point, I have to say things began to go downhill, and the first issue is that I think the engine clatter and the noise from the engine is a bit like the 1200, so it's back, and I think it's worse. Check this out. I found there to be a gearbox whine at slow speed in the first three gears. I couldn't live with that. Riding through the town today was painful. Maybe bring the test ride to an early stop. Check this one out. The shotgun noise from neutral to first is still there. There's a clip of it in a minute. It's also sometimes present in between gears, which I didn't get on the 1250. The 1300 gearbox is heavier and more notchy under the foot for clutch changes and worse between gears than the 1250, but the quick shifter is better and faster, but not a market leader. Okay, some general stuff. I really like the blind spot indicators on the mirrors. That's good. The radar detection for distance sensing from the vehicle in front doesn't interest me at all on a motorbike, so I didn't really even use it. I think the bike looks high quality, but it looks a bit generic, like a Honda NC750, which is okay, I suppose. So after about an hour, I'd had enough and took the 1300 back. Here's a picture of my previous 1250, the non-GSA version. When I got back on a 1250, it felt much smoother and quieter, almost as though the 1250 was a later improved model over the 1300, which is a bit worrying. My conclusions, albeit subjective, I know, is that the 1250 is a class act and that the 1300 needs some stuff ironed out despite its power and steering suspension improvements. At which point, if that was done, it would be a better all-round bike. But at the moment, I'm staying with the 1250. Thanks for listening.